All right, so let's get started putting this together. So there are a couple of things that you'll want to do. I've got everything cut out, and the tools you'll need, depending on your cutting choices, are scissors and knife and ruler, and then glues. I'm going to use this glue for adding a piece of lace I want to add. It's optional. Obviously, it does not come with the kit, but I think I want to add it. And then Fabri-Tac, and I always have a glue stick nearby. So those would be the tools and supplies. Oh, and some sort of little scrap paper. I'm going to use a Post-it note. I'll show you what this is for, but any little scrap paper will do. So let's see if I can get you through this and not stick my head in the camera too much. So this kit really grew, and it just kept growing and growing. But it's a simple thing to put together, very similar to the divided folders I did previously. Similar but different. So the first thing is I've cut out everything that I'm going to need from the kit sheets, and I've scored and inked and done all those things. So this is going to be the outside, or the envelope cover. So I need to seal up each of these, and that first requires that you decide which part you want on the inside and which part you want on the outside. And what will show the most is actually what's on the inside, because the outside sections wind up glued to each other. So you really only see the edges. So a couple of things about these when you're cutting them out. You just want to be sure that there's not a white edge or any, that you've trimmed it very tight to the pattern, because when these close, they're going to be, this edge is visible. Only slightly, because again, it's all glued together, but you do want to make sure that there's not this glaring white stripe because we didn't trim close enough. But it seems like I did trim close enough on all of these. So back to my little glue book here. And these, the divided pocket areas, I would use the Fabri-Tac or Fabri-Fix for, because you do want it to stick pretty well. So I'll do the couple of these, and maybe go off camera and do the other 4. The glue is already finicky. I haven't even started this day, and the glue is finicky. Okay, so then close this up, flip this over. So the whole kit is a study in browns and pinks, and kind of a coral pink, not a pink, not a girly pink. I don't know why I say that. It is kind of girly, but girly in a good way. But it's a beautiful, beautiful, very soft and feminine, and yet not, it's not Walt Disney pink. How's that? So you get the main idea of how I'm going to seal up all of these, and I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera. There's no reason for you to watch me do it unless you want to hear me just chatter, chatter, chatter. So I guess I could leave the camera on, and we'll see if I say anything profound that I ultimately want to keep, one that I think you'll want to hear. So you can see I beat up my hands further. The other day I mentioned how I jammed, or I scraped my finger in the refrigerator just retrieving something, and that's going to scar for a while. And then I have ink on my hands because I changed the ink in my printer this morning, and for some reason the new cartridges felt like they had to sort of spittle all over me. That was pleasant, but that's all right. I got most of it off. There's some yellow still and some magenta, but that's just the way it goes, right? So this one, I thought this was cute. It was an actual piece of music, and I could make the True Love fit right in that tab. So this one I'm going to keep this way. I'm not even sure I'm going to use it. There are 4 pockets that come included in the kit, and there's really probably only room for 3, depending on how much stuff you're going to keep in each one. And the whole idea behind this kit for me was that the heart knows that, you can lie to yourself about all sorts of things, but your heart knows. And there's only so much or so long that you could actually pretend with your heart. So that's what this is about. And you'll see as we go forward and some of the elements that come out, you'll see what I mean by that. So let me just get up this last one. And easy enough. And again, you don't need a lot of glue. And I'm learning to use a minimal amount of glue because I am notorious for having glue just spurt out everywhere. All right, so now there are 3. They go in, I guess, this order, technically, if you're going to be anal about the tabs. And then they open up like this. So whether I use this one or not, I don't know. Guess I could try to put 4 in and still keep them in order. Maybe I will. There might be room. Okay, so those are done. Now this is the cover, and on the sheet when you print it, there are score marks, and you'll see it's a gusseted score. It's not just 1, it's 2. And this one is about a little bit more than about 1/8 of an inch, and that should hold all of these just fine. So let's see. Yes, so if you wanted to use all 4 in one, you by all means could, except that for some reason that's not even, but you could, because the whole point is it does expand. Okay, so that's that. A couple of things that you want to do for this. So the idea I had for a closure was this, and that it's got a little slot and a monogram, and that's how it opens and closes. So if you want to do that, you want to do it now before you add the guts. And to do that, we first have to put on whatever you choose for your letters, and there are all the letters. And I like mine to be pretty, oh, there goes that glue, to be pretty centered. So I am going to mark it for that. And this piece is 16, 23, 7 inches, top to bottom. So here is my top, and here's going to be my center. And I could even, because I know these are about 2 inches, could mark where I want them to go. So you want to leave enough hanging off this flap, so that there's room remaining for it the circle to act as a tab. So you don't want to put it up too high, like you wouldn't want to put it way up here, because it's really not enough room to allow for it to bend and slip into the slot. So I think that's going to be good. So I'm going to mark this. I'm going to put a C for me on the front. And let's see, I'm just going to, just so I see it. Okay, so then you want to have another one ready for the back, because the idea is that you might have you on one side and your secret love or your public love on the other. And then it's a matter of simply, here we go, coming back with some glue and do both sides. Come on, glue, you can do it. We have faith in you. All right, so now we're going to stick the one on the outside first. And that's going to go about here. Yeah, whatever's there in the center. That looks good. I could cheat a little bit here. Looks good. All right, then we're going to take the other one and flip it over. And you could have this one reverse, so it's right side up when you open it versus upside down. So there's the 2, and they've been already inked. Oh, and I just should mention that these can be cut out with a 1.5 inch circle cutter. So they've all been designed to do that. Okay, so we're just gonna push this here. I thought I had my bone folder here, but my fingernail will work. And the only thing is, you want to make sure that you don't have any reveal of the circle below. So this is pretty good. So you can see there's no white part showing. And if there were, you know how to fix that. A little of that happy glue. I mean, no, happy ink. So I'm still going to give this a little bit more time before I start mucking with it too much, but we can go ahead forward. So now we want to create the slot that this is going to go in. And what I do to do that is I use a ruler because I'm a little bit, I don't know, straight. We need to just have enough go in to the slot to keep it closed. So I'm going to mark just on each, that's probably higher than I need it to be. Let's come down a little. Oh, that's fine. I'm going to mark on each side just enough for it to go in. And this one I can hardly see, but it's there. Okay, so then what I like to do is I like to have a slot that has the little holes on the end. So I'm going to get my the way I figured out to do this is a simple piece of styrofoam. And I'm going to see, I can see where I've put my 2 marks. I'm just going to come in and push that through. I'm going to do the same thing on the other mark. Okay, and now you can see the holes are made. I'm just going to make them a little bigger, just for effect. Makes it a little bit more decorative and also just easier to see. So then we need to cut between these 2 spots. So we're going to do that right in the middle of them. Now here's Christine fidgeting about where the middle actually is. I'm going to do 2 passes, but I'm not sure I got through the first time. And there it is. You see, I was right. I didn't get all the way through. Okay, so one thing you should know is that when you use the awl to make the holes, it gets a little clogged up in the back. So you just want to make sure that you kind of move all of that paper back to the back. There we go. And I just press it down, kind of like you would a grommet, but you want it to fold back against itself, not go back in and clog up the hole, which that part's doing. Oh, that part's still doing it. So you just kind of have to work it through. And I may be the only person on earth who even cares about this. Okay, so there we have it. Beautiful little, wait a second. There. Okay, so now the thing we want to do is very important, is we need to cover this area up because these pockets get glued to this side. So we want to cover that up, and I'm just going to use this sticky. I know I'm not working in center. I'm going to use this sticky so that I can't get any glue in this area when I glue the pockets in, and this will just stay there and it will make sort of a dry pocket in this space. Now, you could use any kind of piece of paper, and looking at this technically, it shows, like you can see that it shows there. So if you want to use another paper, by all means, maybe something darker. In fact, oh, hello, Savannah. She's decided to say hello. I just use that, that's fine. One thing I did not do and want to before we go farther is ink those slits. I know. Savannah says, hi, everybody. I haven't had enough attention this morning. So now I'm just going to come in here and it's easier if you take your paper off here and ink this up. And I do both sides. And that one I did a lot because I was actually looking at the cat. So you could do less than that. There we go. Okay, so now remember to put your paper or whatever you're using, your little scrap back here. And it has to be lower. It's more important that it's under the slit. So that looks good. Okay, so then, I'm taking a long time. It's really much easier than this. So now you have to decide the order of your pockets. And I think I have decided on mine. So the same thing, so one thing I'll mention is that we're just still doing the center area. This one, because it's going to be actually attached to here, this one can be a little more glue. Sorry, I was trying to rearrange my little desk here so that this was more in the middle and then I wouldn't have to keep doing it off camera and have you hate me. So this one we can add a little bit more glue to this side as we attach it to here, but basically all of them will just be in the middle. So, saving my mat here. And like other folders we've done together, you want to be sure when you attach them that the upper edge is aligned. And that was probably a little bit more than I needed in terms of width of the glue. But you want to make sure that these edges are appropriately aligned. That's the more important edge for this project. Oh, I thought that was wet glue. All right, and I'll keep going. This one I'm going to do a little bit less. So I wish I had something profound to say today. I really don't. So we're waiting for some more snow. And that should be exciting. We've kind of been gypped this year. All the snow that's been around has been elsewhere in the state. And it's good for not having to shovel. But I don't know, it's nice. I mean, we had snow around Christmas time, that was nice. And we were able to enjoy that. And there's a coating of snow outside now, but it's just a coating and it's kind of, I don't know, you can still see grass and spots. Okay, now I'm going to use this fourth one here just because I think it's cute. And I don't often think things are cute. I don't go for cute. I think it's kind of cute, but it's not like goofy cute. All right, so let's get that going. If you're still watching me do this, I hope it's very relaxing for you. There we go. Okay. And again, you want to just make sure that the edges align as well as they can. And because that will make it sit better in the piece. So now that's done. So now you want to be very careful to keep in mind which way is front. Now, there's nothing that says you can't do it this way and have that be the front, but in my mind, this is the front. So this is going to get glued to here. And you're going to want to make sure that you set it in and practice it. You know, like make sure it fits. You can see where it's going to be on both sides, and then you can glue it in. So remember, you need to put something here, and you could just leave it like that. That will be fine. And now we're going to glue, I would say 75% of this to the flap, to the front flap. Goodbye, pattern. Sorry we won't be seeing you, but it's okay. Hi, baby. And now, voila. So while that's drying, I'm going to cover the glue and go see what this cat really wants. I'll be back. All right, I do know if I had just left everything where it was when I turned off the camera and then turned it back on, I could pretend like, ooh, I never left you. But I did tend to the cat. I still don't know what she wants, but she's out of our hair. So next, now that this is done, we have it all set in. And you could, if you wanted to, you could glue the last one to the back, and then you would have just a pocket. But I have another idea for this, so I'm going to leave this open. What we want to do next are some of the ephemera that's meant to go in this kit. Or wait, let's decorate. We can do lots of things. There are different little labels that come with the kit. I'm going with charms for one of mine. I'm just going to put one on, I think. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, which one? I think I'm going to put this one there. And this can be done with just glue stick. It doesn't have to stick forever. Well, it does stick forever, but it doesn't have to stick hard. So the glue stick. And then right in here, I'm going to stick you right in there. And unlike Fabri-Tac, it does not give me the same amount of time to play with it. There we go, charms. So some of the words that are included in this kit are love, desire, secret, eternal, muse, crush, unrequited, cursed, forbidden, temptations, spells, private, surrender, self-care, and passions. And then the labels that are provided say your heart knows, which is the one that I'm going to be using on this. Two other labels with quotes included are grant your tongue the freedom to express what your heart wants to say, which is basically speak, share what you're feeling. Your heart wants what it wants, or else it doesn't care. I'm pretty sure that's Elizabeth Browning quote. And trust your heart knows where your spirit wants to go. So that's the whole idea of this kit. It is really about connecting and being true and love, without being gushy and all that. And gushy's good, don't get me wrong. I don't know what you people think about me. I like gush, I'm pretty gushy. Just ask my cat, she has me just wrapped around her furry little fingers. But anyway, so the kit is that. It's just a little bit of love and joy. So what I thought I would do for mine, since I'm going to use the heart nose as my little label here, I think I might just do something like that. We could spend 3 hours while I decide how to bend the lace. Think like that. There we go. That's what we want. So we want to make sure that this will still close and that this will be there. So for that, I'm going to use the glitter glue because it is nice to the lace. It dries clear and it comes out skinny. And since I'm going to be putting additional Fabri-Tac over this anyway, once I put the label down. So let's put that about there. That should work. Oh, look. It turned blue. Interesting. I've not seen that before. So this is, I'm going to stick this on here to keep it down until I get my Fabri-Tac ready. And I'm going to use Fabri-Tac on this. Like I said, this could normally be a glue stick job, but since we're going to use it to hold lace down, we're going to give it a little more grab. And still not try to make a huge mess about it, as we know I am wont to do. I never really understood that phrase, I am wont. That doesn't stop me from using it. All right, so this is going to go here and just look lovely. Oh, I love it. All right, so I want to add a little bit of extra glue to this corner because it is holding down the fort. And I probably didn't want to do quite that much of it. but luckily it was already a glue booger, so it should come off easy. All right, and straighten this baby up. And you know, it's never far away. And give it a little, oh, I just hit the microphone, sorry. Give it a little time to set. Get some of that crappy glue off. Come on, you could do it. Look at me, I'm rooting for the glue. Beautiful, okay. Why don't I just leave it alone? Let it dry and then go at it. Oh, no, there we go. Clean this up a little. I know, it comes off better when it's dried. In fact, I have a whole little signboard that says, right now, give glue the time enough to dry. Because I feel like that goes for everything. Be patient is really, it's a lot of words to say, be patient. And you'll have a better outcome. Okay, so there we are. That's beautiful and lovely, and I love it. So then we have other cute, fun things. So one thing we have is a Valentine. Excuse me. So I made this Valentine and an envelope that it goes into. It fits perfectly. So let's glue up the envelope. And we could do that with a little, oh, not ink. Oh, it is inked. Just these edges aren't inked. So let's fix that, because once these are folded in, they're kind of hard to get to. So one thing about the envelope is you want to make sure that you put the vertical sides inward so that anything sliding in won't get caught up on anything else. So the easiest way to now do that is to take Fabri-Tac up this edge, because you know it's within the confines of the size of the envelope. I'm just going to go up both these sides and close this baby up. Oh, I was kind of skimpy with the glue on here. That's all right. So a couple of things to know about this envelope if you make it from the kit. It has, this is a 90-degree angle. I provided that so that you could simply round the corner. Now what I did is I used this medium size of this chopper, but a regular full size, this one makes a little bit wider curve, would work as well. Okay, so then there's this card. And I love this little card. The one I'm using, I fussy cutted, and I added some embossing to, I'll show you that. In fact, I videoed that, so I'll show you how I did it. So essentially, it prints on one side of the page and allows you to fold it over, so this becomes the inside, and then the front opens like that. Okay, so this is a small little Valentine that fits right in here, and that obviously fits right in here. And life is good, and everything closes, and it's beautiful. So the thing I thought though, and you could definitely send this to somebody if you wanted to, but I thought maybe if you wanted to do it in a larger envelope, you know, make it a larger card. And I achieved that by taking some paper, some cardstock, and embossing it with my Big Shot. Now I can just attach this card to here and have something that's very subtle and subdued, but the yellow sort of picks up the part of her bonnet. And you can write a message in here or do your journaling in these areas. But then I thought, let's make it look like a real old-fashioned glitzy glam Valentine. So I took a piece of gold cardstock, ran it through the embosser. This is the only florally embosser I had. And then I actually embossed it with embossing powders just around the edge to give it that sparkle. And I really love how it looks. It looks like an actual, I have a few authentic cards that are made a lot like this. And it really looks a lot like that. So that made me happy. And then you can fit that into a A2 envelope and it mails perfectly. So just something to think about. But in our case, it's going in the little envelope that's part of the package and going into the into the mini folders. Now something to think about, I fussy cut that heart, the edge of that heart. But when it prints like this. So what I did is I just cut using a knife, just real simple, quick little, it took seconds. And then let that edge be the live edge folded over. But I created it this way, so if you have no interest in fussy cutting anything, if it's against your religion, I get it. So here, I just added this little bit of lace to make it look like part of the card, and you don't even have to cut it. So that's all your choice. The other thing I'll mention on the labels on these guys, which I should be paying attention to and should be getting to stick down more, is that these, again, my favorite little trick, if you have a traditional hole punch, a 1/4 inch hole punch, this is going to let you get that corner. No problem. It's sized for that. It's just my way of saying you're cared about, because I would hate to try and do those little corners. Okay, so that's that. Then there are these two things. Now these hearts come in 2s in the pack. I already glued them together, and I'm going to punch a hole in it, and you could use them to add a little note or collage or whatever you like, and add them to the kit. So I'm going to use I have a pink and a lavender thread here, or cord. I'm going to use the pinky one on this. And it's not going to let me tie a knot. There we go. Oh, come on. See? It's because you're watching. There. Okay. So there's a cute little card. Can also go in here. And then we have a tag. So this, again, could be left open for journaling. I'm going to close it because I like tags as much as the next person. So, let's do that. There we go. Another tag. And this one we might do with the old loopy loop through the hole. This cord is very thick. Okay. And voila. Another one done. And this can go into True Love. And this can go in. And it's all good. All right, so there it is. So now, the one thing I wanted to talk about is what I'm going to do with it, I believe, is stick it in my journal. But I'm going to use a belly band to do it so I can take it out but leave it in and not have to use a clamp. So let me go grab my journal and we'll get to it. So once again, I didn't leave everything exactly as it was, so you knew I was gone. But let me show you what I'm thinking of doing. So in this is the last one that we made. This is a little different. It has just the tabs on one with divided pockets. This one has divided tabs, so you really can add several different topics, which is perfect for love because there are lots of ways to look at love. I've looked at love from both sides now. It just came into my mind. But anyway, to be more serious, Christine, let's get this finished. These people do not have all day. So what I'm going to do is add a belly band. And to do that, I'm going to do that in a way that will allow me to put the journal, I'm sorry, put this in my journal, but take it out as well. So I can slip it right through here. It'll be like that. Close it, and it will stick. So that's very easily done on a good sturdy page. So I want to find something good and sturdy because we're going to abuse it a little bit. So let's see what we've got. Oh, that felt good. This feels really sturdy, but it's a little short. Let's see. It would technically still work. So I just might. What do we think? How does it look there? I think actually it looks okay. I'm going for it. All right, so one thing to think about is where you put the band, because you don't want to have to jam it up too much when you slip your case in. So I think about there. So that would allow enough room for it to move in either direction and enough room to stay on the page. So that's about where I'm going. So now I'm going to take a piece of, so I think I'm going to actually mark it so I can move it. And I know I'm going 3 in from here. So that will give me a good guide. So now I'm going to put the glue. I'm going to glue this side. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. How much time do we wait for the glue to come out? Okay, now it's not even coming out. There we go. And this side. And the one thing we want to just be sure of is that we don't get glue on the white side. Let me close up that glue because it's really unhappy with me. So if you can find a scrap paper, maybe to put that down for a second. To put along on this side as well. We just keep things from getting too gluey against the actual page. And now I'm going to come down and stick it in the book. So I shouldn't have taken that out quite yet because I'm going to now rub this. I don't want glue getting on this underside, otherwise my belly band will be of no use. Whoa, did you see me move that? Go back over there. Behave yourself. Okay, so now we know what we have to do. Let the glue dry. So let's give that, especially this, because we're going to really put some wear on it. So let's give that a minute, and then we're going to slip the folder in. Okay, so through the magic of time travel, we have let this glue dry. And now we're going to take it out. See, this is why we have the paper in here, just so we can come back out here and make sure that there's nothing too gluey going on in here. Okay, there's a little messy part there. That's okay. And then I'm going to want to erase that little mark that shows, because it's unnecessary. So then let's pretend that it is all like an hour dried, just because we want to be that kind to it. So now we can just stick our little folder in here. Tab it in, and now it's in the book. It's a beautiful thing. So there you have it. I don't think I need to say anything else about it. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope it gives you ideas. Again, my whole goal is to spark your creativity. And if you have any questions or anything you want to share about what you did and how you did it differently, or just different things, or just anything that you've created lately, I'd love to know about it. So until next time.